Hi, thank you. I'm happy to be here and show you guys some really fun stuff this morning. I hope everyone's ready for someone who can speak very quickly. So I'd invite you all to just take a sip of your coffee and maybe like get some exercise. I've been a lifelong developer. I started working on code when I was 12. A little fun fact about myself is I really enjoy doing acro yoga, which is this kind of like, lifting up other human people instead of lifting up weights. This is Santa Monica about 10 years ago. But I still do this today. I just moved to SF, and there's some fun practice in the city for this type of hobby as well. Um, there's probably some code on your phone that I've written. I've developed all kinds of different things for really big companies. If you've ever ordered like from Taco Bell or something like this on your phone, then you've probably used code that I wrote. I did like the pizza designer for Hong Kong, Pizza Hut, where the toppings would drop on the pizza. They have got really great toppings, all kinds of seafood you can get on pizza, which you cannot get here in SF. Anyways, so go ahead and tell you about what I've been building recently. About a year ago, I thought about this problem where reality is kind of hard to detect now. I'll just go ahead and start sharing my screen. So there's a bunch of companies that have received funding for.
Let us just give you the room. Then you can present with that.
Oh, okay? I'm sorry.
Awesome.
No problem.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah. Just too much caffeine already. So there is a lot of these companies, for example, like Reality Defender, they got 50 million in funding. Get Real Security, 17 million funding. Clarity, 16 million funding. All these companies that are just trying to detect deepfakes, right? There's the main problem here is that we're in a new stage of reality, right? Like in the last 5 years, these models have become so good that we cannot tell, what's real, not. There's scammers that are doing prompt injection to LLMs where they're, putting fake customer support service numbers in, where, you'll have AI agents even calling on your behalf and connecting you to a scammer, and you don't realize it because you think it's actually Southwest Airlines, but it's someone just stealing your credit card information. And they've got voice agents that are very, very convincing that sound just like, you no longer hear, not to be an Indian scammer on the phone. You now hear whatever it is that you're expecting Southwest Airlines to sound like. So there's already been lots of damages. There's AI voice detector is another good one of these companies. Lots of projected losses. If you could take a guess on this is what kind of the scam is. This is, I think Deloitte did this research. It's something like 40 billion of losses this next year because of AI scams. So how do we fix the problem? These like detector problems, in my opinion, I realize they're just all solving it the wrong way, basically, because they will only be helping. Like, unfortunately, these VCs have actually made the problem worse by funding these companies because you cannot simply detect a fake. The fake can just use you as a training agent to make themselves better until they can pass your detector. And so these companies that are trying to detect the problem are actually solving the problem wrong. Just a little quick background. The Take It Down Act was signed into law. I actually wrote this demo back in August to present at VAPI. And back then, this had just happened, this Take It Down Act. It was actually enforced just last week. There was a guy convicted of creating deepfake porn of his ex-girlfriend that is now spending 2 years in jail because of it, which is great that this Take It Down Act is actually helping the problem. European Union is doing this. There's some countries now that are starting to trademark your likeness. So Voice Cert 1 is going to provide a product to protect your voice identity in many different ways. You can sign up with us for a SaaS product where we will trademark your likeness, your voice, your face, so that you can then issue takedown requests if someone is using your voice or your face. Like, some of these really popular Instagram models and whatnot that are real are getting just AI models training on them, and they have no way to stop them from doing that because they haven't copyrighted or trademarked their identity. Matthew McConaughey just did this with his all right recently. So he can take down people that are using AI using that voice. Okay, let's quickly go through this. Comedians are making fun of this, where he had Trump changing his words to say, "I nominate Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize." So there's authoritarian governments that can abuse your voice in different ways and make it seem like you said something you didn't say. Trump himself was bullied this way. Everyone might have heard the BBC where they had Trump say, we're gonna go down to the Capitol and we're gonna fight like hell. And it seemed like he said those two things together, but they were actually several minutes apart. So this kind of cyberbullying and abuse with voice should not be possible if we can put cryptographic proofs into the data. And so what is that? What does that mean? Like, you know, everyone's kind of familiar with like a SHA. They say, oh, does the SHA match? When you get the file, you know, does this string match this string that we're providing you on our site? And this is like kind of a way that Voice Cert is working, whereby we're injecting a signed proof where we can put our public key somewhere, and you can then use that public key to say, oh, he is the only person that could have generated this content because it used a private key to create it. So that way we can encode timestamps and we can encode identities. I can prove that you are this LinkedIn user that generated this particular generation. Okay, so we've got some angel funding. We've got a couple things going. Our go-to-market is kind of interesting. Instead of, like, when you're creating an antivirus company, no one really knows that they need an antivirus until they've lost their hard drive. So we've created a couple of different products. And I think this is kind of a go-to-market strategy for the future, actually, for many companies, is instead of just working on your one company and trying to market your company, work on like 100 companies. Like, we have Claude now that can just build a whole company in a weekend. So here's, you know, several companies. One is Masky. So in this case, I've got a bunch of avatars that are talking avatars. So we've got some technology where streamers can like talk as if they were a different face, or they can talk to a personality of someone. We can train on the data of known celebrities and just talk to clones of these celebrities. This kind of technology is going to be ubiquitous soon, but we might as well get involved and have our own version of it so we can train our own system against, and we can be the ones that are actually truly protecting people. For example, this Chris Wilson guy is the creator of a game called Path of Exile. When there's a streamer playing this game, they might be able to, using our technology, really quickly talk to. Audio come through? Can you hear him speaking? I don't know if it's working. But basically, you can interact with this fake version of him, right? And in this generation of Chris Wilson, who is the creator of this video game, I was just asking him a question about the game and what he thought about it. His answer was amazing. AI just blows me away every time I use it. I have encoded a proof that proves that I am the one that generated this video, right? So if someone clipped this and put this online to make it look like this person had actually said this thing, you know, in a year from now, that's going to be very possible. It's already kind of possible today, but we can kind of tell when it's a lip-synced model still today. We would want to have, you know, a browser plugin or a protocol to detect who it was that created a particular AI generation. And so Voice Cert is doing that. We have a couple of patents. My uncle owns over 400 patents, has a farm in Maui, and he's been advising me, help me filing the patents for injecting these cryptographic proofs into AI-generated content. So Masky is making this work. And then once we had Masky working, where we were generating these talking avatars, we decided to make a Discord clone, because Discord was taken over by an Israeli CEO and starting to monetize the platform. Many gamers are not happy with that. They wanted another solution. So we built another solution, also for people who are role-playing, playing Dungeons and Dragons. This is actually working. You can get the phone on, you can get the app on a phone. And when you join a chat channel with your friends, you can have a different persona that's actually speaking for you with a different voice. So again, this is kind of like the virus to the antivirus, right? Like, when your friends are hearing this voice, they think, oh, Elon Musk just joined the channel. How do we know who really the person is behind Elon Musk, right? Is it really Elon Musk? Or who is it? And so Voice Cert makes that happen, where we can detect that. And I think that there might be some laws soon, maybe even next year, where all these companies, these AI gen companies, are forced to have a cert by governments, or they'll be taken down by the governments to generate content without them. When we were testing some of this stuff, it was quite alarming. And here's like, we have our own deck for Masky, or go to market for it. When we were testing some of this Masky stuff, Charlotte was the model here that created her own little Masky. She's a streamer on Twitch. And she was just putting a prompt to like generate a picture of, 20-year-olds on the beach. And Grok generated like a 16-year-old without any clothing, just randomly. Like, she didn't even ask for that. It was really weird and kind of disturbing. So I think Grok's in court recently, in like the last couple of weeks. They might have to pay lots of money because of their model doing that. The revenue of this company alone, potential, like the TAM for it, is very, very high. So we've got all these different companies that have like their own plans of go-to-market that Claude is just kind of running on. They've got competitors. They're old people that are not using these AI gen technologies in a way that has protection behind them. So I think Voice Cert partnering with these companies and basically rebuilding them with security behind them, one of them will probably be successful. We've got another example of this, onlyvoices.ai. So like OnlyFans, but for voices. Maybe you want to hear your girlfriend's voice before you fall asleep at night. You want to just write a prompt for Morgan Freeman to be Morpheus and talk about your own philosophy, something like this, right? You could do this, but I'm sure Morgan Freeman would want to take it down if you had him saying something that was not real, that made it sound like he said something he did not want you to have him say. So once we have this protection, we can allow you to monetize your voice, monetize your likeness. When you're streaming on Twitch, for these streamers right now, my chatters that are watching me play this game right here could maybe ask any one of these avatars a question. They pay $1, or they pay $1 to have my own avatar say something or do something. And then I have the ability to approve that request, or I have the ability to license it and say, okay, I will let you reshare this. First of all, I'll let you play it on my stream for $1. But if you want to reshare it anywhere, it's going to get taken down unless you pay me this licensing fee, something like that. So we're going to be creating commercials using voice actors without them ever having to step into a studio, because we've already have their previous voice recordings. How do they get compensated for that work? And so Voice Cert is creating that path forward for people to monetize their likeness. Yeah. Where was... Here. So voicecert.com, you can go here now. You can see kind of more of this demo that I went through very quickly. You can see any of these sites I referenced here. They're all live today. If you wanted to have some fun with talking avatars, you could really easily create one on Masky. It's really fun. Also, you can create like fantastic characters. So one of our go-to-market plays might be approaching game studios. We've been talking to a couple game studios where within a video game, while you're playing the game, instead of just like having the NPC have a scripted interaction, it's completely freeform where you can talk to them and they can talk back to you with these talking faces. I wanted to give a demo of that as well, one of these talking faces, but I'm not sure if I have time. How much more time do we have? I've probably gone over a bit. It's about 10 minutes now or so.
If it's a quick one, you can do it.
The thing is, I thought I'm like 3 hours early before. I thought I was going to have like 3 hours to prep, but I forgot that it was in Eastern time today, so I didn't have it set up and ready. Another quick use of these things is like, here's Zach. He's the chef that runs the farm that my uncle has in Maui. And so if I want to generate, like, he has an Instagram channel, Hua Momoa Farms is the name. Maybe not. We can go to his channel. So sometimes he'll release, just an image like this, where they're talking about the farm. But we could make this image come to life, and it could be a reel really easily with him talking some script. So like, instead of him just, he didn't record it, but he might say, oh, well, this is my post, right? I'll have myself talk and say these words using Masky. And we have that kind of working today. We're creating some workflows for creators that are using Masky to automatically, enhance their posts before they click post on Instagram, to turn like static images into talking videos. And there's a lot of creators that will love this. There will be other tools and competitors that are doing this also, but they won't have our Voice Cert attached to it, because we have that unique core competency to add to all of our tools. So, just to recap really quickly, Voice Cert is a really cool technology. It's got some patents behind it. We're probably looking for funding soon. We need to find the right partners that believe and understand the technology and can maybe advise us well while they're also being an investor. That's the main thing that we're interested in. I don't really want to just take money. I want to find someone that knows how to use that money as well. I don't have a big knowledge of marketing. So I would like an investor that knows how to connect me to those people, or just, an advisor as well to connect me to those people. Looking for board members that might want to get involved. We're still, pre-seed stage of angel funding, but we might do around. I don't know if any of these other companies will become like their own entities, or if they'll just be under the umbrella of Voice Cert. Probably that is the case. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of this stuff today, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Seth. So apparently the 2 judges that got here on time for representation just ditched us. Not sure what happened here, but yeah. Let's see. Can you unshare your screen so we can see all of you?
Oh yes, I'm so sorry. I thought I already.
Awesome. Yeah, great.
Come back.
Yeah, great project, man. We can see that it's pre-seed, but it's pretty organized right now. So yeah, what's your next step? Like, so you're pre-seeding, so you'll be looking for funding soon. You're looking for partners, and so what's the next step?
It's a great question. It's kind of difficult. It's just me and another person at the moment working on some of this. I foresee one of the products that we've made going viral. So whether it's onlyvoices.ai, that it's kind of a funny product, or whether it's Masky, or the Discord server, I think one of these products will probably hit like some sort of critical mass where we'll get many users using it and kind of self-funding, because we have SaaS products. I want to maybe reach out to Matthew McConaughey. I've been crafting that kind of first contact message to his PR people. I want him involved because he is kind of understanding the space very well. We want to do some kind of project where when anyone buys, like if you came to our site today and said, hey, I want to protect myself, here's $400, to go ahead and trademark my voice, help me manage this, when you complete that purchase, we would gift a same protection to a high school student. So a lot of these young kids today, they don't understand the space, they don't understand the technology. They're just going out and they're putting their face everywhere on the internet. And it's, these young women are being abused by their partners sometimes, or ex-partners. And how do we protect them? They don't even know the problem is there until it's too late, until there's already, deepfake porn of them all over. And so we want to give a free subscription to our SaaS product of the automatic monthly takedown, where we're just scanning everywhere on the web, daily to find these things and take them down. We want everyone kind of to know about our browser plugin that can identify a certificate within AI generated content. And we want this to become a standard within the next year. So the next step is, how do I make that happen? How do I find the people that can help me make that a reality? While also, having Claude building like 3 businesses at the same time. It's a little tricky. Yeah. I need to find more people. I need to maybe get some money so I can hire some more people.
Yeah. I bet. Claude will only get us so far, right? Yeah. We need people to work with it as well. We had here in Brazil. So if people doesn't know yet, so me and Peter, we're from Brazil, and we had here like this month a bunch of teenagers that got sued and got juvie for doing it with their classmates, right? They released content from deepfake videos. So yeah, they got in trouble with that, but people caught it early, right? Sometimes it doesn't happen. So yeah, that's great project.
Yeah, it's hard even when you catch it, right?
Like, security, right?
Like, yeah, even when you catch it, it's like the damage is already kind of done because the whole class has already seen it. And whenever they look at you in the face again, they're going to think about this thing, even though they know it's a lie. That's in their brain now when they look at you. Yeah. So you can't put something else in their brain when they look at you anymore, because that's in their brain when they look at you now. And it's really. So as far as this product goes, why me, why now? That sort of answer is like, I've experienced this myself in my past. I actually lost my first girlfriend to suicide. because of some similar kind of abuses from one of her friends, even before AI generated content, just gossip and lies and rumors and stuff. And so I deeply understand the potential for abuse here, and I'm very passionate to prevent harm.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your project with us. Thank you for sharing your story. Like I said, unfortunately, I'm not sure what happened with our judges. They kind of vanished. But yeah, we're here to talk. We're here to have this conversation. Peter, do you have anything that you can bring it up?
Yeah, I would like to know that he said that he's a developer and he built with some AI. I would like to know what about his point of view about the understanding of the AI, of the code base that he was trying to construct, the beginning and in the middle and at the end, because I feel like as the application grows bigger, the AI kind have lost inside his own context of creation. So I don't know if you use some tool or if you use it an MCP. What are your thoughts about it?
Sure, there's lots of tools coming out lately. In terms of like the different repositories, I've got maybe like over 20 different repositories that I've used AI with. Some of them I have AI completely controlling. I don't look at the code anymore. Some of them I'm not letting the code go to production until I've looked at it, and I fix it and I structure it. So I think that like ideally still today, you have to very carefully prompt AI to structure and organize the project yourself even after that, and give it really good guidance for that to make sure what you're talking about, this kind of like old school like PHP spaghetti code is not being generated by AI. Even when it is, though, it's surprising how far it can still go. It just ends up costing you more money because there's so many more tokens spun up to read the whole repository every single time. I do think that there is a point for certain projects where it gets too big. You just have to separate it into little pieces that it can understand easily with MD files each. And it's kind of like micro services. Why did humans create microservices? For the same reason. It's easier to focus on one thing. And so you can always do that with your projects. You can always break it up into smaller pieces, and then have AI become experts at that one small piece. And it can spin up the context really quickly, and it costs you less money. And yeah, that's basically the solution.
Yes, your point. And what are about like you said that you might get someone to hire people to work for you. What are your like goals for those integrations? Like, do you feel you would be better with people working around you than like the AI got better?
That's an interesting question. So like sometimes I like talking to Claude more than I like talking to a human. I guess sometimes, very rarely. I think that the in-person connection and passion is very, very essential, for at least for my own productivity. When I have someone that can understand the win, like when you code something, or even when Claude codes something really good, sometimes I'll stand up and go like "Yatta," like the guy from Squid Games or whatever. I think it was. Was it that guy? I don't know. Yatta. No. This is some other TV series. Anyways, you get excited about something, and no one can like empathize with you. Then you're kind of lonely, and you're not as motivated. You don't work as quickly, and so some ideas might not come to mind the same way as when you're speaking with another human. They're better. I don't know. Chat. Sometimes I work with chat as well. They're really good. Sounding boards, better than many people. Like I'm asking you guys for feedback, but Claude would probably be a better judge. I don't know why we don't have a virtual judge right now as part of this thing too, where we can ask that contents agent, like, hey, what do you think? And your judges didn't show up. Well, Claude will always show up. So it's kind of a real world we're entering, where the future does involve many of these virtual agents, and I will be working with them. I already am working with different personalities that are persistent throughout my work. Where it's sometimes you've got, your security developer has a different personality than your go-to-market growth hacker personality.
I see. And just another one, just to finish, you say that you have like some code inside a lot of good applications out there in the world. Do you feel like if you had an AI at that moment that you were coding, it will be easier for you, or you guess you could be, I don't know, you could be somewhere else than like trying to have an application by yourself. You will be like an owner instead of working for someone.
Can you say it again quicker, or like what's the core question?
I just want to ask you if the AI was able to use whenever you were like learning to develop it at the early stages of your career, if like you would be working for yourself, like having built other applications than just like being a regular employee.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, there were times when I was at companies that probably should have made me the CTO, and they didn't, and then they ended up failing, and the predictions that I made about the future were correct. Like I've typically been just like about 1 or 2 years ahead of market understanding. A lot of times, like when I was in high school, I tried to bring a phrase book to market before the world was really ready for it. And even though I did it in kind of the same way of like online yearbooks and private and safe, the same way that Zuck kind of did it, I didn't have resources and funding maybe behind me the same way that he did. I don't know. You always kind of need a human, but thinking about having AI help you as kind of, yeah, it's opened up a whole new world now where, yeah, there, developers and companies can just decide, I don't like the direction this company is going. Like this is what happened with OpenAI and Anthropic and everything. Like, the developers are like sounding the alarm bells and just quitting and then starting their own AI companies because they know the right way to do it and they can spin up the agents to do it the right way. So yeah, I think, like at the start of my demo, I demoed all these other companies, I got all this funding, and it's just like, okay, they're solving the problem wrong. In like 3 sentences, I can tell chat how to solve it right because my brain is, a senior developer for my whole life and understands security correctly. And I just, in 2 sentences, have a whole company now that just starts getting built. It's kind of crazy. In terms of like some of the problems we can solve in the world with this kind of technology with Voice Cert, it's really wild. Like you hear a police siren going down the street. What information do you have? Oh, there's some emergency. Someone maybe getting arrested or getting a ticket. You have no idea. But because that sound could encode an ID in it, your phone could get like an Amber Alert where it just pops up and you say, oh, it's this officer number responding to this event. I could tap it and join a chat room with everyone else that wants to talk about that event. There's so much you can do now with just audio that I didn't think about when I started working on the project. And it's not like AI is telling me those applications, right? I'm coming up with them still. I don't think that AI has got the creativity element yet that humans have. This kind of insight of multidisciplinary creativity is still needed. And that's why you need other people too, because I'm approaching the problem from my background, but I need other people of other backgrounds and diversity to approach it from their cultures and their perspectives on life to figure out the problems that can be solved. Yeah.
That's fair.
Awesome. Yeah.
Thank you, Seth.
Perfect, Seth. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for presenting. Thank you for the conversation